Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowles Central. It's been too long since I've done a mental health discussion video. I need to do that because that's part of the fabrique of our lives here on Jeff Bowles Central. The Febreze of our odor ratio. So I want to talk about, it's a great intro, by the way. I want to talk about what happens if you're the problem. As someone who suffers from serious mental illness, what happens, like, because here's the thing about this, is it's like when you get diagnosed with a serious mental illness like I have, schizoaffective disorder, you tend to, I don't want to say make yourself a victim, but you kind of make yourself a victim in the sense that you have a name for the thing now that you didn't really understand before, which is really important. It's really important as a way of understanding and then tackling, hopefully, somehow learning about it, somehow learning to handle it, somehow learning to manage it and explain it to people. But it does tend to make you feel as though, I know who I am now, and you can't tell me different. That is a personality defect that can kind of manifest or show itself when you have a diagnosis with serious mental illness. And the worst thing about that is that it tends to make it as though you're not culpable anymore. You're not guilty for what you are guilty for. And what am I talking about there? I'm talking about bad behavior. I'm talking about acting out. I'm talking about what happens if, for instance, as someone who suffers from schizophrenia, if I have delusions about someone and I call them out on something that is not something that they are guilty of or that they are doing to me. Paranoia, for instance, right? Am I still guilty for calling someone out or being weird to them or being crappy to them, even though they did nothing at all? Yeah, I kind of am. But see, when I have that diagnosis thing, it's almost as if I'm not guilty anymore in my own mind, or I could go there if I'm not careful. And I want to be upfront about your need as someone who suffers from this, and actually as people who are around who have to care give, because I encounter a lot of those people too doing these mental health videos. People who have to care give, people who have to be around people who are suffering from this. It's important that they are aware that they are still culpable. Okay? You do not get to skip blame just because you are mentally ill. In fact, it makes it more of a responsibility. And I'm not saying it's easy. Because Lord knows, I know, Lord knows, I'm not saying I'm the Lord, that it's not easy. It's really, really tough. Trying to behave as though you're not a little weird sometimes, because you are. But see, I've done a lot of things in my time with this in the last 10 years that it's regrettable. Some of it's just downright just nasty stuff, saying things, doing things. Some of it's horrible, and I don't make any bones about that. I don't make any excuses either. I needed to get in at that time. I needed to get help. And to the extent that I was seeking help at the time, good on me. But to the extent that I was being too lazy or just not wanting to understand it or not wanting to deal with it, I had signs my whole life that I was going to manifest something probably someday, and I kind of ignored them, I think. Just because I had depression and I was on antidepressants and I was on prescription medications for this sort of thing. The people who were trying to help me when I was young, and I'm talking about when I was a teen, I'm 41 now. When I was a teen and I was suffering from depressions and things, they tried to help me and I didn't want to do it. And that's what I'm trying to get you out of. Don't be that person. If you have any forethought or if you have any mental ability right now to recognize that you are the problem a lot of the time, if not most of the time, or all the time, maybe. Recognize it. Do something about that. And try to get yourself some help. Okay? Try to get something for yourself that will coax this out. Get it out into the light. You know, my dad is fond of saying the best disinfectant is sunlight. And it's sort of a medical fact, kind of. But really what we're talking about is anything that is infected, anything that is just festering, get it out. Don't let it fester, and don't skip the fact that you are responsible for your behavior, kind of no matter how hard it is to control it. And trust me, I get that too. I just had a birthday on... what are we doing here? It's Tuesday. It was Tuesday. It's Thursday now. And then the very next day, I was such a grouch that I ended up sparring with my wife all day for no reason. And now it's Thursday, and I'm feeling uber regretful and wishing I could take all of it back. And now I have to make amends, slowly but surely. You see what I'm saying? It may be a process like that for you, where you're screwing up and having to fix it, screwing up and having to fix it. And the words "I'm sorry" coming out of your mouth starts to sound like a cliche, you know. But it's important that you keep saying it if you mean it. But if you mean it, you should try to correct it and make sure that it doesn't happen in the future if you can do that. Really, it's really, really important that you do that, because it's kind of an awful thing to hurt people around you, especially people who love you and who you love, without meaning to, and you kind of snap out of it and you're like, what did I do? It's awful. Especially if you're a normal, kind, reasonably caring, reasonably sensitive, reasonably outward-facing person, normally. I want you to hear what I'm saying here. Sometimes you are the problem. And sometimes it's okay to admit it. And all the time it's okay to try to get better. Yeah? Okay. So that's my mental health thingy, discussion thingy, video thingy for you this time. Do me a favor. Like and subscribe if you're so inclined. We do mental health, but we also do video games, and we also do music here, because those are the things that I'm into, and it's Jeff Bowles Central. It's not YouTube you Central. I mean, it could be. You have a channel. Did you know that if you have an account, you have a channel? Make some stuff. It'll make you feel better. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.